Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here. So today we're going to be working on the fuel tank. The weather is kind of gloomy out, it's raining, it's not very nice out. So I thought it'd be a good day to work on the fuel tank. First thing I did here is I got the car up 12 inches or so off the ground so I can get some clearance under there. And then is what I need to do is just kind of jump under here, and there's a couple bolts. I'll have to get some height, but there's 2 bolts that hold the straps to the gas tank. And I got my jack here, and then a piece of wood. And then I will unbolt it, take the straps off, and slowly lower it down. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that I actually did here was I disconnected the fuel lines, which are up here. And then I cut this one right there off, so that's cut. And then this one's disconnected, and that was just part of the hard line. I just cut the soft portion of it. And that's what I'm going to need to do is there's a ground right there. And then up here in the trunk, that's kind of hard to see. Okay, there it is. But there's a connection right here that goes down to the fuel tank that I got to disconnect as well. So it's just, you gotta pop this up. Not sure if I can do it with one hand or not, but yeah, you're just gonna disconnect this and then push this grommet through, and then you should be free to drop your fuel tank. Alright, so now that I got the fuel tank out, the first thing I need to do is remove this fuel sensor line, just like that. And it just pops out with a screwdriver. And then is what you're going to do is there's these little tabs right here, and then there's one here, and I believe there's one right here. So you got to spin that to get this sender out. Comes off. And the whole sending unit comes out is one piece. So now that that's off, I took a block of wood and prop the tank up because there's still fuel inside. And I take this fuel siphon here, stick it in the hole, shake it, to drain out the rest of the fuel. Okay, so now that that's emptied, I actually had a lot more fuel than I thought. That bucket right there is a full 5 gallons, and then that can is 5 gallons. So I had 10 gallons in there. So I thought my fuel gauge was off. I didn't think I had that much fuel in here, but I guess I did. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just end up dumping these into my truck and burning it that way, and then putting fresh fuel in here. So the next thing I want to do is I kind of want to clean up a little bit around the top of this tank here. Okay, so I have this new fuel sending unit here, and what I'm planning on doing is putting a fitting in, like right here on the top, about right there, to go down for my fuel inlet. So I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling and figuring out where I need to put this, and then hoping I don't mess this up too bad. So let's get started. Alright, so I got that all drilled out, and I ended up putting this fitting on and getting it tightened down. So it is good to go. So this will take a 3/8 inch hose. And then is what I have too, is I have some connectors here. And is what these do is this will convert this hard line here into an AN fitting, which you see here. And it's just like a compression fitting. So let me see. So this will just slide on, and then when you clamp down, when you tighten this up, it clamps onto the hard line, and then it just converts it into AN. And this is going to be for the main fuel, and then this here will just be the return, and it will run from the outlet of the fuel injection rail here, and it'll be the low pressure side, and then it's just going to come straight back down out of the car around, and then I'll route it into this nipple here. And then what I need to do is I need to cut a piece of tubing off, probably do it like this, but I need to connect this so this will be away from the pickup, so when the return fuel comes back in, it's not squirting up into here and aerating the fuel and making this pick up aerated fuel. So that's kind of where we're at. So next thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna start cutting some small tube and getting this all good to go and seeing if I can get it into the tank. But before that, I haven't cleaned the tank off yet, so I'm gonna do that really quick, and then we'll start working on this piece. Okay, so I got all the loose crap knocked off the tank. You're gonna see spots where I don't know if it was painted before or if it was just an insulation coat, but that's what you can kind of see coming through on here. So I got that all pretty much wiped off and taken care of. So the next thing that I want to do, like I was saying, was extend that pipe for the return. So we're gonna start doing that now. Alrighty, so the next thing I need to do is start putting this in. So here's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna slide this in. Well, before I do that, I gotta put the gaskets and stuff on. So let me get these and get them open. And then we're gonna slide this in. The orientation of the pickup is facing that way. So I gotta cut this down to about right here where my finger is. And then I'm gonna slide it up onto that nipple. Okay, so the next thing I would like to do, let me see if I can get my camera in angle here, is I'm actually, before I tighten everything down, I gotta make my cuts here. I gotta cut this off, so I can put this fitting here on. So I made a mark where I want my cut. So I'm gonna take my pipe cutter and cut it, and then we're gonna put this fitting on. Okay, now that that's cut off, we're gonna take this here. It's a 3-piece system. You have your main part, that's your outlet. You have this, which is like a compression holder housing, and then this right here, which is considered your compression fitting. You're gonna wanna slide this housing on first. Then you're gonna take your compression fitting, slide it on. Then you're gonna take this housing, slide it on, make sure it's seated all the way, bring it up, and tighten it down. Making sure that this stays seated the whole time. So let me grab some wrenches and I'll get that tightened up. There we go. Now that that's on, I'm just checking my float, making sure that's moving freely. Nothing is obstructing it. Which it is good. Now we can take this, set it in. And just go ahead and knock this back on. There we go. It's all tight, everything's on. And we're good to go. Okay, so I got this put on, but I actually ran into an issue, and this is not going to work. Here's why. Because when this sets up, there's just a little bit more room than that underneath the car. And then when this goes over, it kinks. So now I gotta think of plan B. Plan B might be to, I don't know, I have to think about it. But I gotta think of plan B. Maybe it will involve taking this here out, if I can get it, and then somehow incorporating the return into this neck here. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it and see if it's something that I can do. I don't necessarily want to drill into this to have the return coming, because if it doesn't work, then this piece is ruined and I got to get a new tank. So I don't know. We're gonna have to start thinking of plan B and how we can go about getting this to work. So let me think about it, and I will. I'll be back. Okay, so I think I figured out what I'm gonna do now. So I ended up cutting this right here off, which was the old return line or the vent line. And if you look at it, you can see where it used to come in over there, but it comes up and in, and then it would come down the tank, up and around, and then back in. And I imagine they did that. I don't know why they did that, but it was done. But there's a lot of bends in this and a lot of kinks. And then also under the car, it would follow the hard pipe, which was down, and it turned, came, and then it turned up, and then it connected to a piece of rubber, and then it turned a few more times, and then it went into the tank and then did that loop. So here's what I'm thinking, and I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that I can hook up the line for the return. I'll flare this out, then I'll hook the line onto here, kind of like it is on there. And then I'm hoping that with all these bends and everything, and with everything, that the restriction won't be as much as it was. So that's kind of my plan and my hopes. So is what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hook it back up to the old sending unit like I originally had it. And then I'm going to replace this sock here because it's all broke, and I'll just replace it with the one that's on the new one. And then is what I'm going to do is I'll probably just put that old sending unit in because it is working. There's nothing wrong with it. I tested it out. Works good. And then from there, we will see what happens. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where I'm at on this with this project. So let me get to assembling, and then yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what I did is after I cut that, I ended up putting this hose on here. I pushed it up as far as I can onto here, and then I double clamped it down just so it's clamped in 2 spots. And I probably won't be able to access these clamps once it's up and in, so I just clamped them super tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this sucker ready to be put back in, and then we'll add some fresh fuel, and then we will see what happens. Alrighty, so I got all the I got the fuel tank installed, and then I got the fuel lines ran. I got them coming up under the car, up under here, comes all the way up, then it goes back, comes right here, it's hard to see, and it comes over, right there, up and then in. So now is the moment of truth. Let me try out this I was gonna try out that light. Here we go. I'll prop this up. It's hard to see. Let me set this somewhere. Here we go. The fuel pressure right here. I'm gonna watch that and see what happens. Okay, we're still sitting high, around 84. It's not running, and then it dies off and we sit. Well, that doesn't work because it stops pumping at that point. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up these store here. I'm gonna fire it up and check it out. So give me just a moment. All right, so we got this back on, and the fuel pressure is still in the 90s. Yeah, I got a restriction. I gotta fix it and figure it out. So. Might be a different fuel tank. I'm gonna have to get out my book, see what the price on those is. And then I guess I'm gonna check for leaks too. I should probably do that. I don't see any fuel on the ground, which if it were going to leak, it would have definitely leaked by now. So I think we're good there. And then also, after I put 5 gallons of gas in, the car is sitting at an extreme angle. Look down here, it's saying half a tank of gas. But if you look at the car, you can't really tell, but it's definitely sitting like that. So these front tires are bigger than the rear ones. And then also when they poured the slab in my garage, it was sloped the wrong way, unfortunately. So that's where we're at. All right, everybody. Well, that's actually going to be a wrap for today's video. Unfortunately, things didn't work out like I was hoping they would. So I guess plan B is to look for a fuel tank that will actually accommodate a 3-inch return. I know they're actually not too expensive. They're like $100, $120. So I will look into that and see how much they are and kind of just go from there. But if you guys have any suggestions, if you could put them down in the comments, that'd be awesome. If you've ever worked on a Camaro or needed to put fuel injection in and then had to run the lines, tell me what you did to get the pressure down in the line, in the fuel situation under control. So, but anyway, thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it. It's just an adventure and we'll keep moving on. It's another rainy day. It's super cold out, so the body work is on hold. Looks like that it's going to be raining and off and on for the next 10 days. So at least the next couple of videos, I don't think I'll be doing body work. And I'm kind of running out of things to do at this point. I could start the trunk, but I would like the weather to be nice out because I would like to pull the car out when I do that so I don't get dust and stuff everywhere. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification icon so you get notifications when my next videos come out. And we will see y'all later.